I'm Rowie. I'm the Assay Development Lab Manager here at Codetta Bio. When I come in, start the lab going, put on any assays that need to be thermocycled that got finished off the day before. I start looking at data from the day before and making sure I've got test plans and reagents ready for analysts for the rest of the day. Reviewing data and feeding that into the upcoming protocols kind of takes up the bulk of my day. Any biology lab goes through a lot of single-use plastics, and it's kind of infuriating. Before I left Australia, there was several scandals around plastics recycling companies where the plastics weren't being recycled at all. They were being stockpiled in warehouses around the state, which were catching fire and extremely hazardous to put out, and causing a lot more pollution than it would have been to dispose of the plastics through landfill. A company that does recycling of plastics here in the US, they collect non-hazardous plastics from around the country and melt them down, grind them up, and use them to make new single-use lab plastics to create more of a circular economy with plastics and reduce the landfill burden without contributing to further waste and pollution by stockpiling in the same way. Here at Codetta, where we collect single-use solid plastics that aren't hazardous in boxes supplied by this company. When they're full, we seal them up and ship them off. There's a similar program for nitrile glove recycling, and in terms of the volume of trash we're getting rid of, it's really good. It's a real reduction. So far, from I think about 5 boxes shipped back, so far we've recycled 17 kilograms of single-use plastics that would otherwise be disposed of in landfill. That equates to 161 square metres of water conserved compared to what it would be if the plastics weren't recycled and were made fresh, and 105 carbon dioxide emissions conserved in the same way. That's from one shipment from a program that's been in place for approximately a month. It's only just started, so I think seeing the impact at the end after a bit longer will be really great. So far, I think the way the lab has responded to it and the way I see people assiduously separating their plastics that are in use for biohazardous assays versus non, so they can recycle more effectively and safely, has been really great. It's been pretty easy. I think there's a high level of education among most people these days about the impact of climate change, and while we may only be making small steps, it's something that I think everyone's really happy to be part of. I'm really excited about the scientific process, about finding a question and digging into the data you've got and different ways to find new data to find an answer to the question. It's one of the things that's really great about working here. I can go down what feels like a scientific rabbit hole and come out with some really great information and some answers to some formerly perplexing questions about how our assays are working. They really don't understand what this arvo means or what's in a fortnight. So if I really want to confuse someone, I'll tell them I can schedule a meeting with them either this arvo or in a fortnight. I read a lot, I craft, and I play rugby. Well, I did try to start a trend of outdoor meetings where we're passing around a rugby ball. That one quickly got vetoed every single time we needed to do any sort of data presentation, and I may have slightly tackled one of my colleagues, but but I asked first.